Hi, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Jonesy Chats Wrestling. This is a brand new channel. Going to be chatting some WWE and generally wrestling in general. Anytime I see something I want to sort of have an opinion about and give my sort of thoughts, you're going to hear it in here on this channel. I'm also still going to be doing the channel with Steve on SCW. But thank you for checking out the video and please share and like. Please leave any comments. Please leave any feedback, good or bad. I'm still learning. I want to make this channel the best it can be. My first video is one of my favourite kind of things at the moment to explore the positives and negatives of retribution. So I've actually named this video the rise and fall of retribution. So let's start at the beginning then. So August the 3rd, Monday Night Raw, the afternoon of, WWE did a tweet announcing a new mysterious stable was coming to WWE. And I was really, really excited. I remember that day I said to kind of my co-host on one of the podcasts, Steve, I said, this could be great. Who's it going to be? Who will be in this stable? And you're really, really getting excited. So obviously on that show, we had Raw Underground debut with Shane McMahon, which was a new concept because WWE were kind of panicking at the moment. They were trying to throw stuff at the wall and trying to hope something worked. Obviously we got this new stable, basis setting fire to a generator, which was random. It didn't take the show off air at all, didn't make any sense. There was no real purpose or reason for them to set fire to generate. It didn't seem to do anything. It didn't seem to have any impact, which is kind of maybe a mixed trick there in my opinion. They did that and they kind of ran away, which made them look a bit like cowards really, which I don't really get. I think in hindsight what they probably should have done is WWE should never have announced that they were coming by Twitter. That just totally utterly defeats the whole object of this mysterious group that's meant to be attacking WWE. I think they could have took the generator out. That generator should have cut out a promo. Someone should have been talking, and then the lights go basically, and then they're gone for temporarily, and then people are starting to ask questions. Obviously, during that time, you could have somebody potentially be attacked from behind or something like that. You could really, really start doing some really questions like, this is really weird, this is unusual. 1 minute we've got lights, 1 minute we've got somebody doing a promo. Drew's doing a promo in the ring. Next thing you know, the lights are gone. His mic's gone. They have to go to adverts. They come back, the lights are still off. We need to go and explore what's going on, etc., etc. And you start in that really. And then somebody gets attacked, and you got a question about who's done it. What's the purpose of the new stable? We then kind of go on to what happened on SmackDown. Then SmackDown, August the 7th. For me, this is the best film Retribution have done so far. This was the one where they basically came out from nowhere. They smashed up the whole building. They had chainsaws. They attacked the commentators. They attacked the fans, the standing fans, which was excellent. And they also really, really were good. You could tell that these guys mean business. They look like stars. There was a huge number of them. People cutting audible promos to the camera, which I thought was great. And I really, really enjoyed this. I thought, here we go, this is fantastic. This is the most exciting I've been about kind of SmackDown in ages. They're really, really making an impact. You would have thought they'd smash up this whole sort of performance centre. And then obviously they're going to go into the new venue. So it's not really they've been driven out of the performance centre. It could have been something good. You've got the guy with the chainsaw. You've got everything. People like sort of making cameos to cameras. Fans getting attacked. It was just so exciting. It was so different, so out there. So obviously we left that kind of SmackDown. I got no criticisms with that at all. I thought it was excellent. You're really creating this. Obviously what we've noticed with this Retribution is there's sort of huge numbers. There's loads and loads of them, which is kind of weird. Obviously if you're doing a stable, you kind of want to be careful of the numbers. Basically, it's okay to have a certain amount of numbers, but you want to know who the members are in advance. If you're booking an angle like this, in my opinion, I think you should know who your leader is and how they're all going to fit and how they're going to interconnect with wrestlers up and down the mid card, upper card, wherever you're going to base a stable. So we then kind of go on. They obviously attack people. We're all sort of speaking about kind of who do we think this is and whatever else. We then kind of go on to the August 10th Raw. Obviously, the Retribution once again invaded the Performance Centre. All they really kind of did in this one was basically smash up basically a window, and then they flipped a car. This was so tame. This was like a light version of what they'd done on SmackDown. Really, really underwhelming. I felt that this made no sense after the effort they did on SmackDown. Why would it that in SmackDown they can attack commentators and attack everybody and they don't care who they attack, whereas on Raw all they're doing at this time is just attacking sort of a window with a cinder block and flipping a car. Even then they were running away like they were scared children, which was ridiculous. The problem with the early parts of this stable as well is the size of these people. Some of them were really, really small. Some of them probably potentially were people like Caden Carter and other people maybe, which didn't look intimidating. But yeah, really, really disappointed in that. I felt that was a wasted opportunity. Clearly, what you want to be doing at this point, you want to be kind of building up. You want to be getting them built up in kind of an angle. You don't want to give away too much of what's going on, but you want to be getting everyone excited. You want to fill up from SmackDown. They've done that on SmackDown. Why couldn't they do something similar on Raw? Why couldn't it be as aggressive? You want to get SmackDown and Raw to basically be united to get this threat out of WWE, if that makes sense. So these are the early parts of SmackDown. These are early parts of Retribution, sorry, not SmackDown, through August. So we're getting excited. The first kind of cliffhanger for me, or sort of not cliffhanger, the first kind of thing I started worrying about the stable was the minute they were on SummerSlam and they didn't appear. Like, this is a group you've been building. They're taking over sort of Raw. They've taken over SmackDown. They've destroyed SmackDown. They're causing chaos, really, and you don't even have them on a pay-per-view. Surely it would have made sense for them to come out at SummerSlam and interrupt one of the matches or do some sort of carnage, but instead they let SummerSlam carry on like there was no problem, which really didn't make any sense. We then kind of go to go forward then. So they had sort of a couple of other bits. We then kind of get to September sort of 21st, and what they then do on this show, they kind of have then basically got names, if that makes sense, and it just kind of seems to be really, really silly. So before that, I probably skipped ahead. We've had them attack various people. So on one of the shows, they've attacked The Fiend, they've attacked Braun Strowman. There's always numbers. There's always 20 people, 12 people, etc., etc. And at this point, we've got no real idea of who's going to be in it. They don't seem to have any real plan. Nobody's doing any promos or anything like that. We then kind of go forward a bit, and they keep doing this. That once again, they're not on another pay-per-view, jumping forward again. And it's just disappointing. You're just thinking this could be great. They've got so much potential to pay stuff off. The whole fact they're in hoods. The only thing that's kind of letting us down that's stable is the fact you've got huge numbers, which you're probably not going to pay off. And you've also kind of got nobody there that's sort of leading it. You haven't got any chaos night. There doesn't seem to be any plan. People just attacking people for the sake of it. And there's no comeuppance. Like people would attack sort of... I think I remember John Morrison, the few SmackDown wrestlers, got attacked. And there's no payback. It's not like the following week on SmackDown. They're going after Retribution. There's just nothing really. And all it was is Retribution attacking nobody's basically staff and just people that kind of can't really defend themselves almost, which was stupid. We then kind of get through it. So we then get to sort of one of the Raws. We then start the show basically with them out in the ring. They've all got sort of masks on, and all of a sudden, basically, they've got almost like a core five, if that makes sense, that are there. Obviously, they then start doing these promos. You then start hearing from them, which I think we should never do. I think the mystery should have been they don't speak until they have to speak. If that makes sense, you delay it further. You delay the mystery. Look at Aces and Eights in TNA. That was fantastic. The whole way they delayed it, and who it was, and whatever else. Eventually, we do get promos. Clearly, from at that point, we know who some of them are. Mercedes Martinez and whatever else. It's just obvious. We then get to sort of a Raw in September, and then at that point, we're getting people in the ring. The women haven't even really got masks on, so we know it's Mercedes Martinez. We know at that point also it's Mia Yim, which is so obvious. We know it's sort of Dominic Dijakovic. Mace obviously has got a bit of disguise, but we know it's Dio Madden, and then you got sort of. And you've also then got the other ones basically as well, and Slapjack as well, which is still under a mask. So you've got that contradiction there. So not only have you not got a leader with them, they've still got numerous numbers, and they're in the ring talking, which it's just stupid. This does get more and more ridiculous as we're going on. So at this point, I'm thinking this angle's doomed. We then kind of have them sort of in a match back on September 21st. And that's kind of, they're in a match then with basically, with the Hurt Business. Even on that show, they're saying that they've been signed. So why the hell would Raw sign them to exclusive deals if they're there to attack WWE? Doesn't make any sense. The problem is, in between this, there's numerous times where they don't do anything. They don't appear. They don't appear on any of the pay-per-views either. So Payback they didn't appear at as well. And we're just kind of looking at this thinking, none of this makes sense. So on their debut, you've kind of got T-Bar. He's aptly named the leader, which is Dominic Dijakovic. They're given the most awful names. T-Bar, Mace, Retaliation, all this other lot. And you're just looking at this thinking, the poor wrestlers, because they're all really, really talented, and this could be great. So ultimately in the debut match, they actually lost this via disqualification. And it's just, as the show ends up back on September 21st, we've got huge numbers attacking, like, Hurt Business. They're getting beaten down, like 12-on-5 or whatever it is, or 12-on-4. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. We then get to basically September 21st, and that's kind of what I said earlier, where we got this basic them coming out and doing promos, basically Dio Madden, Shane Thorne, all that lot. They come out with a new attire. Why would you have like sort of Shane Thorne in a mask and the others wearing obvious masks? It's just a total mismatch, and it's just absolutely ridiculous, basically. And it just kind of gets more and more ridiculous as we go on, and then this carries on and on. What did happen though, obviously. 2 weeks ago on Raw, we had basically something that could have saved the angle, I thought. So back on the 5th of October, we had a big thing with Mustafa Ali being revealed the leader. That was with no build, no nothing. Mustafa Ali was the job of doing nothing, and he's been thrown as a leader. This could have been something that could save it, because Mustafa Ali is a good talker. He's really won me over. Clearly with his hacker stuff, it could have been really, really good. And you're thinking this could be great. This is at least give them something to do. They've at least got a chance now. Even with the stupid names, they've got a chance to be something. And it could be really good. So the Hurt Business are obviously the ones that are getting beaten down. It's good for Retribution. And I'm thinking, okay, great. This is perfect. Mustafa Ali, they've actually got somebody that needs a push in Mustafa Ali. He's a great talker. And he's something different. He could be very sort of devious as a character, and I think that really fits what this gimmick should be. We then kind of go into sort of the week after, which was obviously 12th of October, where he was meant to do a promo revealing why he joined. No promo at all. All they did was show a video from before, which totally goes against everything. Again, all the hype you had from Mustafa Ali being revealed is gone in the bin yet again. WWE don't follow up, which is just total utter ridiculousness. It makes them look a total joke. In between that, we've lost Mercedes Martinez with no explanation. They haven't covered that on TV. She just dropped back to NXT and no cover. We then kind of get to sort of another crime from last week's show as well as we go into Retribution. They're drafted to Raw. Who the hell would choose to have this group that are sort of attacking Raw? They're their own people. They should be free agents. They should be able to come and go. They should be saying on the draft to Stephanie McMahon, we go where we want. You're not going to tell us where we go. If we want to turn up in NXT, we'll turn up in NXT. If we want to go Raw and SmackDown, we'll turn up wherever. Instead, they're drafted. And it just gets more and more stupid. We then go to, this is the worst one of all. So this was last night's Raw. And it's absolutely, I think this is probably one of the worst bookings I've seen, unfortunately. So let's go into it then. So we start obviously the show with The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, which is fine. They're kind of two of the hottest acts currently in WWE. I think The Fiend and Alexa Bliss have got a great sort of chemistry. This whole new character change of Alexa Bliss is going to be really, really good. It gives her something to do. It makes The Fiend relevant again as well. But we start the show, and instead of you would have thought the payoff is the Hurt Business is who they're feuding with. They start the show, and Retribution basically surround the ring around The Fiend. And you're just kind of thinking about where does that make sense? What's the history there? They've only attacked The Fiend once on one SmackDown, and he vanished. There's no logic there, and you're not paying off anything. So, as I said, you've got a heel group attacking a heel. Doesn't make sense. No explanation. They do this. The Fiend obviously disappears, which makes no sense. We then kind of go into sort of the Retribution and Hurt Business, which makes sense. That is the main feud. You want to be following it up. That's the last feud they had. And it's just kind of really, really sort of getting that going. So this is obviously another chance for Retribution basically to come back. We then get this 8-man tag going. Hurt Business, Retribution. Conveniently, sort of retaliation, which is Mia Yim. She's not around at all. She's totally gone. And you look like this is a match that kind of goes on for a bit. During the match, we've got sort of the Fiend appearing on the screen, which is totally irrelevant. There's no explanation, just appears. Doesn't have any relevance. And then they go to a commercial, don't even acknowledge it, really. We come back from this. The worst thing of all is you've got this Hurt Business sort of getting the victory here. And when you look at it, it's actually the leader, supposed mini leader of T-Bar that's tapping out. And he's tapping out basically to Lashley. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, if that makes sense. But this is Mustafa Ali's first match as a leader. Their fortune's meant to be changing, yet they're losing here, and this is just really, really infuriating for me. I think it's idiotic booking. It's almost like WWE don't know what they're doing. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and they're just making up as they go along. And so that's it. So that's not it. So you obviously get Hurt Business beating Retribution, and this is the first match Ali is leader. They not only beat him, they totally destroy him. They make Retribution look like a total joke. We then kind of got. That's it. There's no sort of numbers. Where's these supposed 6 or 7 other members that have been appearing week on week? Where are they? Where's the extra sort of layers to the storyline? What benefit is this? It's almost like you've just basically buried Retribution with no payoff. And it just looks totally stupid. But this isn't the worst one of all. The lights then go out, and none other do we get the Fiend there. And the Fiend takes out 4 people, all 4 blokes of Retribution on his own. So it's just, I know you're building the Fiend, and he could be he should be probably a main eventer, but at the expense of Retribution, where do they go next from here? It was a total utter shambles. I think it was a big mistake. What they should have done here to try and counter this, it would have made sense really for Retribution to beat down the Fiend. You then obviously could have had the Fiend in a couple of weeks, get some sort of revenge. You then got the Fiend forming his own stable. You've already got Alexa Bliss in that stable to go against Mia Yim. And then obviously what you then do is you then obviously have the ongoing thing with the Hurt Business, and then that's basically a 3-way tag team match for the Survivor Series, which would have made sense. But instead they've buried Retribution. There's no kind of payoff, and it's just a total utter waste of time. What are they doing with this group? This group are a total joke. How can they ever kind of recover? Really, it just really, really winds me up. I think it's so stupid. And I think let's look at this. Not even sort of the other thing, and then we then get a promo from Ali later on in the sort of show that basically says he's the hacker. So they've thrown away months and months of storylines, not done anything involving the hacker with Retribution. Like when they took over the TV truck, they didn't take the video off and put a video of him hacking or anything on. They're just kind of making it up as they go along, and it's almost like the Raw GM. They're just literally throwing stuff out there, and they can't be bothered to answer questions. They come up to follow it up. I think this group are done. I'd be amazed if we get to Royal Rumble and this group are still a stable. I feel so sorry for the wrestlers. They're fantastic talents, but WWE are burying them. That's kind of it with my views of Retribution. Where do we go next to fix it? We need them to go back to being sort of angry and on revenge. They need to be doing what they did the first week of kind of SmackDown, where they're going out attacking everybody and anybody on next week's show. They keep losing. They're going to be over sooner than they start, which I thought the whole purpose of this was a stable ready for Survivor Series, but instead it's just almost like a modern day replacement basically for the Ricochet, Cedric Alexander stable and Apollo Crews, but it was getting beaten every week by the Hurt Business. It's exactly the same thing. And for God's sake, give these guys some sort of time on pay-per-view. Give these guys some sort of wins, if that makes sense. They need to start winning. You've got a real potential there. The only other thing I could say that may make the sense of this, that may be positive, if I think about it logically as well down the line, obviously whenever The Fiend has beat people, whether that be Seth Rollins and other people, such as Braun Strowman and stuff, that they generally go hillish. So I'm wondering if them sort of beating Retribution will open them to be more darker. Maybe they will join the Fiend in some way, which I think would be crazy. I think it'll drag him down a bit, but there we go. But that's it. That's been my views on this kind of rise and fall of Retribution. Thank you for checking out the video. If you like the comment, please leave some comments below. Please leave a thumbs up. Please share as well. And I really appreciate you watching the video. This has been Jonesy Chats Wrestling, the rise and fall of Retribution, and I'll put some more videos up soon. And thank you all for watching the channel. Thank you very much.